for that. Thank you. I saw a little hair in the back.
I didn't hear you. Did you say that she wasn't an outlier?
No, I said she's not. She's not enough. I mean, if you look at the success, I meant in terms of the 8 tropes that Collins identified and how black women have been portrayed in the media, she fits squarely with the Jezebel trope. So that's what I mean, like she's not an outlier in that way, comparing it to Collins' tropes. But I mean, she's clearly an outlier in terms of her level of success.
I was thinking more so because she encompasses so many of the roles that it's not like she just fits in the one, like you were saying. She plays the mammy and she plays the Jezebel. She encompasses one. It's not like she's just one specific one. Yeah. And that when she encompasses all of them, she then becomes the outlier. Because if we think back, like, even like with, I think Gone with the Wind or whatever movie it was where you saw the mammy figure and you saw that she played one specific role. Or if you see like in another film where a black woman is just the Jezebel, she doesn't have multiple roles to play. But with Olivia, she encompasses so many that it makes her an outlier in a sense.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean. And that's why when in writing this paper, I wanted to be fair to her. You know, it's, I mean, you can't bash the character. I mean, people are multifaceted, right? So, to just, I was on a blog and someone said, oh, she's nothing but the masses bed wench. I'm like, okay, I disagree with that, but I think what they meant, I know what they meant because they were looking at it from a broader social historical context. So I think that was the impetus for the statement. But I deliberately looked at and I compared Olivia's character with those 8 tropes. Right, and I'm like, she is like, I clearly saw the mother. I saw the mother as, and of course I could like the diva. I mean, that just kind of be looking at her dress and the clothing that she wears, and I think she's like one of the most fashionable, most stylish on TV.
They have a line for her, like
the line. I'm not surprised. I'm not the least bit surprised. Does anyone have a piece? Wait, who makes it?
The Limited.
The Limited.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's affordable too. Because I thought you were going to say like Nordstrom or something. I'm like, it's high, it's that high end. Oh no.
It's high enough. Well,
It's high enough.
It's high enough.
Right. So that's why I wanted to be fair to her. Right? And I'm like, those were the 3 that I saw. And I think she exemplifies all 3 of them to an equal degree. But I think for many black males that I know, they have a real problem with the show.
We have a real problem with them.
Don't kill the messenger. But I've had many black men that would say, that they ought to be ashamed of themselves. That if he were white and black and she were white, it wouldn't be a problem with it. And a lot of them are, one of my friends said that they're living through Olivia Pope because they really want a white man, a successful white man. Just telling you what was said. Yes. I wish they were here. Oh, because they would tell you exactly what it is. Oh, I'm sorry, in the back? Did I miss a hand?
No. We were just back here chatting about it.
Oh.
Sorry. Having our own private conversation.
Let's see. Yes, I've heard from you.
So have you all discussed how it will affect the African American family? Denise and I were talking in the atrium, and we were discussing how we were talking about the expressions on television don't promote African American healthy families. Like you don't see a black man and a black woman on TV successfully married with kids, right?
That's something that's not a comedy though.
It's true though.
Right, something that's like to this degree, right? And so even watching the show, if you aspire to have a white husband or another husband of another ethnicity and that's wealthy, then you're not allowing the African American man and the African American woman to come together to create. And I think her name is Frances Cress Weston. she's a psychologist.
Yes.
She talked about how they, the white people, they would like to promote situations like this where it will actually die out the race. So if you engage with other ethnicities and you desire other ethnicities, then your ethnicity will no longer be pure or even no longer exist to a certain extent.
Fear of genetic annihilation.
Yeah,
Fear genetic annihilation.
That's right.
And so, just thinking about that, like the impact of the overall family, the overall unit, like how does that even work? And we were talking about another show, I think.
Empire.
Empire.
We were talking about Empire and how.
Someone told me to do a paper on Empire. I think I watched like part of the show, so I really need to get in depth. But I understand that they're very multifaceted, very interesting characters. So.
Right, well, like take for instance, the strongest black male role model really in Empire is married to a white woman. And had he not been married to a white woman, they literally would be the strongest, most successful married black couple, but they're not. And then the ultimate protagonist of the story, the black male that everybody loves, is actually demasculinated as a gay man. You know, because it's rare to see, and me and Jamar were talking about this. I couldn't even name a show where there was a black male positive role model, successful, married to a black woman with black children, other than the Blackish.
Blackish.
But yeah, Blackish. That's
what I got one.
But it's also but Blackish. We talked about Blackish, but Blackish is also a comedy. We're talking about something.
And as was the Cosby.
Right, as was the Cosby's. Right, something that is not. You know, something that is serious in retrospect, something, you know, that would more emulate the House of Cards or something like that, but with black people. It doesn't exist.
And that's and perfect example. Everything that you're saying exemplifies white supremacy. Do you think it's by accident?
No.
I mean, think about it. I mean, we know that the majority of black people not like Oprah, we don't own networks. But think about it. If white men value showing black experiences, he could.
Yeah.
They could. If they wanted to, they would actually get black writers, black producers, black stars. They're not making that a focus because it's to their advantage to make sure that whiteness in all of its forms is elevated. Remember, it's the attitudes, the values, the belief systems of their culture. So as long as you never question it, you'll buy into the clause that they're pushing in the media, the images that they're pushing in the media. You won't question anything, right? So they control what we see and how we feel. And one of the things that in terms of, I think the comment that the gentleman made here is, some of the, I've been on like several like blogs. I mean, that's how I found about the scandaholics and the scandal parties and all these type of things. But it's disconcerting to me to hear black women say things like, boy, you know, Fritz really treats her like a man should. I need to get me one. And one meaning a white man. Now remember, going back to what I said, in terms of looking at this from a historical perspective, what did I mention about black women? I'll go back to it later. Remember the first thing I mentioned in terms of black women, in terms of their status, they are the highest single group. So that means, I mean, there's a lot of white men running around. They could marry black women, but they're not marrying black women, right? So this is fictional. This is fiction. This isn't real, right? So you know, a white man that loves, claims to love, whatever, whether or not you see it as love or lust or a combination of both or whatever, this is a very atypical situation in film, but it's an atypical situation in life. Can any of you name someone, a white male that's married to a successful white male that's married to a black woman?
Robert De Niro.
Oh, and you're right.
Very good. Robert De Niro is one.
George Lucas.
George Lucas is married to a black man.
Roger Ebert.
Roger Ebert, okay, yes, I know it, yeah, I knew about
George Lucas.
George, I did not know about
His
George.
wife is black.
There's a man from Sex and the City, the one that played Mr. Big, his wife is black.
Are they finally married? I know they were together for like years. So they might, it might be common law, but they might be actually married. I know Robert De Niro is a very, who?
Dirk Nowitzki, he plays for Dallas Mavericks.
Okay.
Peter Thomas's daughter, she was married.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, yeah, they did.
And the young lady on the video, whatever that show
women that
is,
they're married
black lady,
are
it's gonna be called comedian, she's married to a white.
But what we are mentioning are still exceptions.
Yeah, because they're married
Why?
people that
Because it's not real life
economical
people.
class.
No.
They're not
That's
marrying
the thing.
poor with
It's-
poor black women. They marry rich black women.
My friends,
That's
they're
the
both
thing.
successful. I have a friend who's married a white man. They're both successful. I mean,
But it's not typical though. Like you don't typically see white men marry black women. It's more likely to see black men marry white women.
But I think
Now,
that's
I'll give you the stats on that, that's the truth.
I agree.
Now, okay, but with that said, most groups marry individuals, date, marry, have children with people of their same race. That's across the board. That is the norm across all races, right? However, when you compare misogyny between black males and black females, black males are substantially more likely to date, marry, and have children outside of their race than black women are.
I think that may be because people outside of the black race, like women outside of the black race, they tolerate more. Black women not gonna tolerate a lot of the stuff that black men do. But white women
It can go both ways.
Okay. I've heard that before, that black women have a much lower tolerance for foolishness. Okay, she's chopping it.
Let me explain why it may be perceived that black women have a lower tolerance for bullshit than white women do. Okay? Because it's a symptom, it's another symptom of slavery. I don't know if you guys ever read the Willie Lynch letter, but essentially in that letter, the slave owner is describing how to break down a slave. And the basic way to break down a slave is to break down the man first and make the women watch. Because what that says is your man can't do anything to protect you. And what that will do for the woman's psyche is it will train her son to be subservient to that white man because she doesn't want to see her son get killed, essentially, or be that alpha black male that it will essentially get killed. So it creates black male bitches, and it creates black women, I guess, leaders. So it eventually turns around the gender roles, and it makes black women more look like the male dominant figure in the household, while the black man is continuously stays the child. And so I bring that around to say that black men are more likely